Hi there, my name is Wasim Fortain, and today I am joined by Dr. David A. Lazarus, the author of Where Have All the Fathers Gone? Now I'm excited because Dr. David is seated with me here in studio. Dr. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming me, and thank you for arranging this event so that we could just introduce my book to the congregation and most probably to the world.
Yes, definitely.
I'm very excited about it, and thank you for all of the listeners that's listening to us and watching us.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited to have you here. And before we start, I just want to say congratulations and well done on authoring this book and now launching it.
Thank you so much.
What inspired you to write this book? And within the title, Where Have All the Fathers Gone? Where did your interest in fatherhood begin?
Really, my interest in fatherhood began approximately 12 to 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, because everything about ministry that I know was taught to me by my father.
Okay.
Yeah, my father taught me, mentored me, coached me, very especially on the ethics of ministry.
Wow.
You know, the practical and the theory.
Okay.
But being a nominal father, being a husband, that I learned by myself and through studies and watching my mum and dad.
Yes.
But the interest really took place at around 12 to 15 years ago when I was brought from KwaZulu-Natal into Johannesburg, and I was given a church, and at that time I was with the Pentecostal Protestant church.
Okay.
That took me 12 years before I transitioned with the prophetic word into Ceylon. But in those 12 years, I did not have a spiritual father. I was brought here, I was left, it felt like isolation.
Okay.
And leading a church. In Durban, my dad led, and I just followed the footsteps.
Yes.
So he made the mistakes or he made decisions. But being here in Johannesburg with the Pentecostal Protestant church for 12 years, I had to make decisions.
Wow.
I had to lead.
Yes.
And many a times I micromanaged more than leading.
Sure.
You know, and that was a very great challenge. But in the 12 years, it seems as though I had the spirit of the orphan. You know, Paul talks about you have many teachers but not many fathers.
Yes.
And I was a teacher, I was a preacher, but I did not have a father who fathered me, who mentored me, who helped me make decisions, who tried to teach me this is the direction you take,
Yes.
these are the decisions you make. So in those 12 years, I made some big mistakes. You know, I went through church splits. I went through the spirit of rebellion in church, and made bad decisions in my election board.
Okay.
You know, and from there on, after studying the life of Paul and studying the life of Elisha and Elijah, that taught me, because Malachi chapter 4 verse 6 says, before the great and the notable day of the Lord, God will turn the heart of the fathers to the sons,
Yes.
and the heart of the sons to the fathers, lest a curse comes on the earth. And I genuinely started looking for a father.
Okay.
And while at Rhema Bible School, I found a beautiful lecturer, teacher, and he was a good father. His name was Dr. Lawrence Wilson. He's late now. But I submitted to his fatherhood,
Okay.
you know,
Yes.
and I asked him to father me,
Yes.
coach me, mentor me.
Yes.
And that brought in a whole lot of balance in my life.
Wow.
And that gave me the inspiration to write this book, Where Have All the Fathers Gone?
Wow.
You know,
What an incredible story.
Yeah.
And journey as well.
yeah,
I think it's very clear what you got out of it. I think as a father, maybe both sides, you know, there are dads out there that might be in ministry, but
Yeah.
there's also dads that aren't in ministry.
of course.
So what if, for those fathers that are looking at buying this book, what will they be getting out of it?
The book is few weeks ago I taught on fatherhood,
Yes.
and that was the biological father, his relationship with his spouse and relationship with his children,
Yes.
and his intimacy. That part of fatherhood is not incorporated in this book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is more or less about spiritual fathering, spiritual sonship, but carrying the DNA of a spiritual father. If that can be transferred into a nominal father, he will become a great man. He'll become a great father. And watching how spiritual fathers train up, lead, mentor, and coach spiritual sons,
Yes.
and raise up spiritual sons in ministry, that will help sons how to submit to fatherhood.
Wow.
And that will bring an interwoven spiritual and physical balance.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though this book is around spiritual fathering, but I firmly believe that a father and a son can learn a whole lot of biblical truths.
Wow.
Using spiritual biblical applications in their natural fathering and natural sonship, and interweave it together, and it'll give them a good turnaround.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll give them a good turnaround.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
So the next question I want to ask, can other groups of people buy this book? When I say other groups, I mean, is it strictly for fathers? I'm not a digit, can I buy it? Can mothers go and buy it? Teenagers go and buy it?
I firmly believe it will touch all aspects of generation. It will touch the father, it touches the son, and I've not excluded daughters in ministry.
Okay.
And on a few chapters, you'll always find me referring to sons and daughters.
Okay.
So even when females or daughters would study this book, they will become great daughters, and in turn they'll become great wives.
Wow.
If they could just turn the sex around, male and female.
Okay.
Now I am being mentored by a father. Make that application of me being mentored by a mother.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has a great value to both sexes. Father, son, daughter, mother, and it's a good read generally to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good read.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting to know. So you don't have to be a father to buy this book. So we've chatted a little bit around the book and why you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what is one of your favorite chapters in this book and why that is?
My favorite chapter is chapter 8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
I really zeroed in on the life of Elijah and Elisha.
Yes.
Him being a father, how he walked through the different stages with Elisha, and how Elisha was caught up, and then how he passed on the mantle to Elisha. And so the chapters 8, 9, and 10 is a great read. It's a great read, very especially as a father when you want to pass on your legacy. Legacy is not found, I think I wrote that in my book, legacy is not found in buildings, in cars, in money. That is an inheritance that my dad leaves for me after his death. But legacy is me impacting the next generation so that my life can be lived through them when I am no longer here.
Wow.
So when I'm no longer here, this book will have its continuity.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I'm raising up spiritual sons, And 8, 9, and 10, if all of my spiritual sons and leadership in ministry and other fathers that are raising up spiritual sons,
Yes.
if they can zero in on the life of Paul and Timothy, the life of Elijah and Elisha, that will really, really impact our churches today. Because most fathers are threatened by sons, because the Bible actually teaches us that the reaper will be greater than the sower.
Wow.
I'm never threatened by my sons, my biological sons and my spiritual sons. And you well know that some of the teachings that my spiritual sons bring forth, and even including you, sometimes I say you have done well, and I like your teaching, send me the notes. I think when you're a father, you're not threatened by your sons, because your sons will always be greater than the father. Fathers have limited knowledge, but sons really go into much research. And most fathers prohibit sons from reaching their destiny because of fear. They feel that I'm building an empire, they feel I'm building a beautiful church, or they feel I'm building a beautiful legacy, and I must be seen, I must be heard, I must be the voice, I must be the man on the platform. So that does not gel with me too much, because you will take note on most of my conferences, or in our conferences, I just sit and allow my sons and daughters to do everything, because I want the reflection of my light to be seen onto them, so that the next generation can see and know that there is place for them in ministry. So I'm not really threatened. So I'm making room for much of my sons and daughters, biological and spiritual sons, to just get into the vision and the dream that God has given them. And I'm not building myself an empire, because if I die today, I take nothing with me.
Yes.
But my legacy has to continue.
Yes.
You understand? So that's much of chapter 8, 9, and 10, whereby Elijah was about to go. He passes on the mantle to Elisha, and Elisha now crosses over Jordan and has the continuity of Elijah's ministry. Even in my own personal life with my biological sons, I would love for them to carry the mantle that I carry. You understand? When I'm no longer here, and then the mantle be passed on to my grandchildren. And I say this to all of my lead pastors, even in the life of their own children. Let's pass the mantle on. It's not only for me and my children, and not only for me and my few. Everybody that's on leadership, we've got to make room for them, so that they could find their place and destiny in ministry. And by having that, I firmly believe they can become godly men, they can become great fathers, and they can leave a great legacy for their very children. Yeah.
Sure. That is indeed a very powerful message. Mm-hmm. And I think I can also just testify to that. I've seen you do this.
Yeah.
So whatever you have written in here, I've seen you practically do it. And I've seen you asked me once for notes, and I was taken back a little bit by it.
Yeah.
But I completely understand why. So very powerful message indeed. I think the final question that I have for you today, when is your book launching?
I have a team working around that and working around me. We have a beautiful team, and most probably it's on the 18th of September. But I would like to have a launch here on the 18th of September. Then I would like to have a launch in Durban, because I don't believe people from KwaZulu-Natal will travel all the way. Yes. Whatever they hear will be via the media, Facebook and YouTube. Then I would like to have a launch most probably in Cape Town, okay, and then one in Nelspruit, okay, one in Swaziland, because of the network that we have. So we can't, and then with the circumstances that we are confronted with, just a limitation of 50 in us. So I would like to travel down with some of my spiritual sons, and we do a launch in the various areas, but it will all begin, the birthing of and the launch of the book will begin here at Ceylon, at Brakpan.
Okay, awesome. There you have it. The book launches on the 18th of September, and it won't just be launching here in Johannesburg. It will be at various other locations as well. Dr. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
All the best with your book launch and sales going forward. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all have an amazing day.
I would like to just say something to those that are listening and watching. I would like for each one of you to purchase a book. And most probably, if you have family members, buy the second book as a gift and sow it into their life so that they can have an impartation of the spirit of a father upon their lives, because there are so many people, children, young people that are living their lives without a father. And so if they could read this book, they can break the curse of the spirit of the orphan that comes upon their life, and they can be challenged to become great fathers in the future that lies ahead of them. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you for the morning. I really enjoyed talking to you.
It was only a pleasure. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.